Hello, my name is Dana, and I am a yoga and Pilates instructor at the Randolph-Asheboro YMCA. Today I'm going to take you through a sequence that helps you to relax at the end of the day. It's really great to open up the hips, so if you are really tight, maybe you want to do it at the beginning of the day. All you'll need is your mat and a wall. But before we come into our wall poses, I want to begin to ground and to center. So if you come into a comfortable seated position, maybe one heel in front of the groin, the other heel in line with it, we're going to sit tall, and we can use the wall just to lean against. Maybe even letting the back of the head lean against the wall, and just close your eyes. And allow the weight of the body to sink down into the earth. Like an anchor, becoming heavier. We tend to be so fast-paced in our culture, go, 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 that we don't really take time to be still, steady, heavy, grounded. And this is important, not just for your body, but for your mind and your spirit. So we're going to begin to breathe with sound, just a slight constriction at the back of the throat, like Darth Vader breathing. This begins to ground and to center our emotional body. Very soothing. It's also really wonderful this time of year for allergies, to soothe the sore throat and open your bronchioles. Bowing your head to your heart of hearts. Feel the length in the back of the neck run down the spine. Still breathing like Darth Vader. Taking the right ear to the right shoulder. And bring your chin back to your chest. Left ear to the left shoulder. Bring your chin back to your chest. Bringing your head back upright. You want to continue to do this type of breathing throughout the whole practice. This is going to help us to ground, to settle down. So from here, we're going to come into legs up the wall. What I want you to do is just to turn to one side, doesn't really matter which. And you're going to lean away from the wall. Try to scoot your bottom, your hips really close to the wall. We might come down a little bit lower to the side of the body, and again, try to let your bottom touch the wall. From here, all we're going to do is to roll onto the back so that we have legs up the wall. And this is a really great pose. If this is the only yoga pose that you practice, it's a good one. It's a very restorative yoga posture. What's happening is we're reducing the swelling in your feet, your ankles, easing issues with knees and hips, and even your lower back. This is wonderful to calm your central nervous system, lowering your blood pressure, your heart rate. It's really great for headaches, hot flashes, and insomnia. And of course, we could just stay here for 20 minutes and it would be all right. But we want to open the hips just a little bit. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead, cross your right ankle over your left. And from here, you're just going to start to bend your knee, taking your ankle just over that left leg. We can pause here. You're going to lace your fingers together. And just press into the right leg, pressing it towards the wall. And there's a shift that begins to happen. Your left hip, your right shoulder. It's almost like you're being pulled diagonally. It's pretty nice. Remember to breathe like Darth Vader. We'll gently release. From here, we're going to get into the hips a little bit more. So I want you to bend your left leg, not too far, just a little bit to where you can still see the top of the foot and your shin. okay? If it's too far, it can give you a little bit too much pull in your hip and affect your knee. So you want to keep the foot a little bit higher up. Okay. Now from here, all we're going to do is take your arms out to the sides, palms face up, and we're just going to rock everything over to the left. And we'll come back to center. Again, rocking everything over to the left and right back to center. Now this time we're going to go over to the left and hold. And this might be plenty for you. We're letting gravity take over and open us up. But I want you to go ahead and lace your fingers together, press your thigh, your right leg towards the wall. And all of a sudden your hips begin to open. This is wonderful for the IT band, for sciatic pain, or for just very tight hips. We'll stay here just a couple more breaths, breathing like Darth Vader. Gently releasing. We're going to come right back to center. You can take your arms again out to the sides, but from here we're going to do a different type of hip rotation. So your left leg, we're going to start to cheat it out to the side. Okay? So you want your ankle and your knee to be kind of parallel to each other. And for some, this is it. You don't want any more. You can really feel it in this hip, your left hip. For a little bit more, you're going to lace your fingers together again, and take your hands to the right thigh, press it towards the wall. And again, we're getting a very nice rotation of that left hip. Remember to breathe like Darth Vader. We don't want to hold your breath in yoga. You want to hold your breath unless you're going underwater. That's a different class. And we'll slowly release, coming right back to center. You might cheek that left leg up. But from here, we're going to reverse, taking your foot over to the right. So you're trying to stack your ankle over your knee. And if you lace your fingers together, we're again going to press into that right leg to bring your knee to your ankle. And this is great to open up the hips. Remember to breathe like Darth Vader. We'll gently release and extend your left leg up. Slide your right leg up the left, and we'll come back to legs up the wall. And it might be you just want to stay here for a little while. It's very nice, noticing the difference between the right and left hip, the right and left leg. But we'll go ahead and switch, taking your left leg over your right. Bending the knee, taking your ankle down over that right thigh. And we can lace the fingers together and press the thigh towards the wall. And again, we get that little diagonal acupressure from the right hip to the left shoulder. It's really nice. Breathe like Darth Vader. Breathing into every cell of the body. We'll gently release, and we're going to bend your right knee just a little bit. Remember, not too far, protecting your hip and your knee. And we can take your arms just out to the sides and rock everything over to the right. And we'll come right back to center. And again, taking everything over to the right, hold here. You're going to lace your fingers together again and press your left leg away from you. Softening into it. Think of breathing into the hip. Full deep breaths. And we'll gently release, bringing yourself back to center. Now your right leg, we're going to begin to cheat it over to the right, attempting to bring your ankle and knee parallel to one another, so we don't have one higher up than the other. And we can just stay here. You might not need any more. Or lace your fingers together and press your left leg back towards the wall. Again, just a really great hip opener. A rotation in that hip socket. Full deep breaths. we'll gently release your thigh. We'll slowly begin to cheat your right leg back up and then over to the left. And we'll pause here. And again, this might be as far as you go. Think of trying to bring your ankle to the knee. And if you feel open, your hips feel okay, your knees feel okay, lace your fingers together, press your left thigh towards the wall. So we've got ankle to knee, knee to ankle. For a reclining fire log. We've got our shins stacked like logs. Full deep breaths. And we'll gently release, extending your right leg back up the wall, and then we'll slide your left leg back up the right, legs up the wall, and pause, just allowing your legs to be very heavy, grounding into the earth at the hips. We're going to come into one more stretch. From here, I want you to go ahead and bend your knees. This time, we will go pretty deeply, and this is really good for digestion, having the knees come right up against the belly. But I want you to open your knees out to the sides, bring the soles of the feet together. Reclining Baddha Konasana, and you can push both legs towards the wall if you're comfortable. But from here, even though you might be very flexible and this feels fine, we might let gravity open us up just a little bit more. We'll release your arms, and we're going to take your right leg out to the side. Now, if this is a little too much, bring your elbows really close in. Use your hand to act as a wedge and just sit, being still. Or you might let go, and you might notice every now and again my leg will kind of jump down. It'll fall a little bit lower, a little bit lower. And it's not me doing anything, it's just gravity opening up. So if you have very tight inner thighs, this is a really nice stretch you can come into. You're not forcing anything to happen. It's the lazy man stretch. And of course, you can stay here for as long as you like. It's really interesting, as soon as you feel like, okay, my leg that's as far as it's gonna go, you'll exhale and it'll drop down a little bit lower. And when you're ready, you can take your right hand. We don't wanna use your inner thigh to jerk your way back up. You can take your right hand just to the right thigh, give it a little bit of a push, bringing the soles of the feet back to center. And then we're going to take your left leg out to its side. The same thing, we just want to surrender. You can use your arm as a wedge if you like, or just let go, letting gravity open you up. And this is not just hitting the inner thigh, we're also targeting through the groin. Again, breathe like Darth Vader. Every now and again, you might see my leg just kind of twitch down a little bit lower. And the good thing about this is you can go so much further than you can were you sitting upright. And you're not going to break. Your joints, your muscles will stop you before it comes to any kind of trauma. But the whole key is to surrender, to sink into the earth, and to take full deep breaths, breathing like Darth Vader. And just like the other side, you can stay here for as long as it's comfortable for you. But when you are ready to come back up, we don't want to use the leg. Take your left hand to the left thigh and give it a little push, bringing the soles of the feet again together once more. And of course, we can just pause here, or Maybe take both legs out to the sides. This time, maybe we'll take your arms just up and over. You can always grab hold of your elbows. Just taking full deep breaths. The same rules apply here. Of course, you can stay as long as it's comfortable for you. But when you're ready to come up, it can be a little too much to use your inner thighs to come up. So you might take your arms just alongside the legs, give them a little push, a little bit of a help so that you can bend your knees. Bringing your inner thighs together. We can extend back up, legs up the wall. Might become your favorite pose. When you're ready to come out, you might take your right arm up and overhead, bending your knees. And you can walk your feet over to the right, rolling onto that side. Pushing your hands into the floor, we'll come up just to an easy seated position, whatever that is for you today. Leaning back up against the wall, feeling supported by the earth and the wall. Breathing like Darth Vader. We'll inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, elbows out to the sides, bringing your hands back into the heart. And thank you for playing yoga with me. Good luck on the yoga challenge. Namaste.